Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Living Divinity. So, um, I posted a short one earlier and I had an interruption. It was my nephew. So, he wanted to spend some time, so we hung up for a few hours. He's very generous. He took his auntie out to like an early lunch, and we got to chat and talk about just different things happening, and it was really great to spend time with him. He's a down to earth guy, very smart, and I'm not saying this because he's going to be viewing my videos. I'm just being factual. So, anyways, he's helped me with my car a lot, and he's really been there for me. So, I'm really blessed to have him. So, he saw my little setup here, and he said, "Oh, Auntie, you started doing your readings." I said, "Yeah." So I gave him the login stuff and all that, and then he kind of made a joke saying he was favored, um, and he said, "Oh, I'm just kidding." I said, "You are favored. That's what he doesn't realize." I told him, I said, "You've always been favored. You just have to choose right, okay?" And why do I feel like he's favored? He's my sister's son. My sister dedicated her life to caring for my grandparents. She protected them. She was always there for them. She always put them first. The love that she had for her grandparents, in reality, they were like her parents because she was there around them 24/7. She always knew that who her real mom was. She always knew who her siblings were. And, my mom passed away in 74, and of course she attended, and she whispered to me, she's like, I feel like I should be crying like everybody else. And I said, "It's okay." I said, don't worry about anybody. Just, you just feel however you're going to feel. Don't feel guilty. And she did. She felt guilty because she just didn't have the closeness with my mother. Her attachment was with her grandmother, my grandmother. They built a life together. My grandmother and my grandfather cared for my sister like she was their own. And when my sister became old enough to start taking care of them, she spent her lifetime caring for them. And she was blessed to have a husband and 4 kids, and things happened in her life and so forth. And she became ill, and it was, I couldn't tell you specifically, was it the stress of having her husband at a distance? Was it a stress of her being the only one to care for, my grandmother and her kids? I don't think she drove a car, so I think she walked to the grocery store, quite a bit. And our town is about a mile long, so about, I would say less than halfway down was the grocery store. But either that, I think she would send her children. I really don't know for sure, but I know that her heart was bad when she was born. They said she had a murmur in her heart, or her heart was a little bit towards the center. It wasn't exactly set where everybody else's heart is. And so, I'm making this prayer, this session about someone who dedicated their life. My grandmother dedicated her life to Christ. She taught my daughter everything about the Bible and about respect, about honor. And my sister, she's lived till she was 29, and she instilled what she could in her children. Because, you never know when you're going to go, right? I don't believe that she thought she was going to die. But I just know she was 29 when she passed away, and that was a difficult time. So, of course, I would stop immediately my reading to spend time with one of her children. Okay, so basically that's what I did. I'm dedicated to be here to do the readings. But, when my sister's children call me, I must make myself available, right? She's a sister that I always knew she was my sister. And we didn't have that closeness that we really should have had. So sometimes there are sacrifices that are made unknowingly, but it was really for the greatest good. My sister's connection with my grandma was so close, and so it was unbreakable. Some tended to believe that my sister was forced into caring for the grandma. And, I try to tell my aunt my most honest words. I say, no, that's not true. It's not true. When my grandma died, she cried to me and she said, now I know how you felt when Mom died. And all I could do was just touch her hand and tell her it's okay. And it's gonna be okay. She never let anybody come. She did the best she could taking care of my grandparents. And she learned how to cook by the neighbors. The neighbors would come by and probably, bring over some tamales or something, and then she'd say, oh, how do you make that? Can you tell me? And then she learned how to make good, authentic, Spanish food. And she was very smart. She could figure out anything. It wasn't her destiny to be with us that long. So, again, I interrupt any of my readings for her children at any time. So thank you for understanding. But let me get through the reading, okay? Because I'm feeling like I have so many words to say, but they're not coming out. Okay, so we'll start out with Miracles Now. And this one says, I don't need to find my purpose. My purpose will find me. Okay? So, we can go through life and we can try this and try that and kind of when it feels right, then you just go with it. So I've been studying the tarot for about 6 years, and I was kind of fearful about doing a reading because First of all, I feel like, who's going to believe me? Second of all, am I really experienced and qualified? There's all these different thoughts. Whenever you start something new, right, those are the thoughts that you have. Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Can I do this? Right? And you just put your mind to it. I'll study it until I feel comfortable in the process and what I'm presenting, okay? So you don't need to find your purpose. Your purpose will find you, okay? How that resonates for you is totally up to you. I'm just reading the cards, okay? Moving forward, we're going on to your soul purpose, okay? So I'll just set that there. And we have the guardian. It has to do with the relationship and the courts, okay? So the affirmation is, I easily adapt and help those dealing with life challenges. I assist people who are in need. I honor and aid children, elders, and those in need. Are you guided to provide safety, encouragement, and support to those in need? Step into your role as a guardian. Be an advocate on behalf of a child, elder, or someone with mental or physical challenges. Help others meet their needs when they cannot do for themselves. Okay, so let me just set that there. Okay, so let me read out of the book for you. That's under protection. Do you provide a child with a sense of safety, encouragement, and support, whether or not you are a parent, grandparent, aunt, or uncle? The act of nurturing and taking a sincere interest in the care and well-being of another person, whether a child, an elderly person, or someone with mental or physical challenges, is an act of guardianship, so any number of roles can encompass this life path. When the guardian and relationship courts card shows up in your day, look at the ways you advocate or champion on someone else's behalf. Relationship courts is ideal for fostering healthy relationships and good communication skills. This stone is a reminder that good communication involves truly hearing what another person is saying and capturing the essence of the feeling associated with the message. When we truly hear what is being said, there is a better chance of understanding and helping to meet their needs. As guardians of their children, parents are responsible for developing a healthy relationship with their children, as are their caregivers and teachers. Guardians teach key tasks so that a child learns how to care for themselves and becomes a healthy adult. So, I really believe that we have some good people out there who are raising good kids. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your status is. You could be one of the richest people in the county, and you could totally ignore your kids. You could be the richest person in the county and take very, very good care of your kids. You could be the poorest person and offer so much love to your children that would outweigh anything of someone of a higher status, right? Everybody's situation is different. Therefore, we never know the people we come across, who has hurt them, how have they been hurt, have they healed, and then you have to take a look at yourself. You have to look inside yourself. I'm still frazzled from this happening in my life and this happening, and I've never tried to heal myself. I just kept running from it. I kept stuffing it down, and then in your next relationship that comes out, right? maybe it doesn't come out of what you have stuffed down, but it comes out that you're holding things within that probably need to be released. So when you are holding on to things that cause you anxiety, that cause you to be upset, that causes you to run, or that causes you to be short-tempered, all those things, right, can, it can make or break a relationship. So the first thing is if you really care about somebody, if you really truly care about somebody, you will fix everything inside of you so that whatever, like from your past, right, that hurt you, because hurt people would hurt people, right? But if you do your best to repair anything from the past, and that way you won't carry it into your next relationship. So, I'm not perfect. I'm telling you what I think is the best way to move forward. And I'm actually I'm telling this to myself, have I healed myself? Can I go into a relationship and say, well, my first husband cheated on me, and my second husband had really big issues that he never tried to heal, and it affected me this way, and this way. Have I healed from those, or am I really ready for another relationship? So we always have to examine ourselves, not to tear us down, but to have constructive criticism of where we've been and what's happened in our lives, and how can we move forward in the most loving way. So love is the most powerful force in the world. Doesn't really seem like it, because there's a lot more hating than there are lovers. There's a lot more envy than there are those that are able, to freely reach out and just help out, And it comes down to this: the people who are there for you are the people who are there for you. The people who are not there for you are not there for you. And if you really look at that statement, if you write it down and you look at that statement, say this person's John. John is there for me. That means whoever John is, right? I can pick up the phone and call John and say, hey, John, my car's broke down. Can you help me out? I'm sure I don't get off for a couple hours, but yeah, I can make my way over there and help you out. And then it's not even about, John feeling like I owe him something. He did it because he cares about me. And then maybe the next week I say, hey, John, stop over. I got a plate of food for you. I roasted some pork, or roasted a piece of steak, whatever it is. I got a plate of food for you. Or, I call him up, hey, John, are you working today? I'll drop off this plate of food to you. And it's not that I feel like I owe him. It's that I feel like I should give him something to let him know that I appreciate him, right? Those are the people that are for you. The people that aren't for you, you have to decide where they fit in your life. The people who are not for you. So say this is a different John, because I don't want you to get confused or whatever. I just use John because it's a simple name, okay? So John calls me and he says, look, I'm short $100. Can you front me $100? Right? So you give him the $100. And then, there's expectations, I guess, of when he's going to return it or whatever. And maybe you're hoping that he returns it in a couple weeks. So you might just mention, I'm going to need that back in a couple weeks. And then the third week comes and you still haven't heard from him. And then you got to go chase him for the money, right? He knows that he has to give it back to you. So that's like a one-way relationship. Okay, then there's the other one that's definitely not for you, right? Now, John number 2, you have to figure out where they fit in your life. Do I really need this guy, you know, stopping by whenever and asking me to help him out, but then I gotta go chase him for the money. You know, what are you gonna do the next time that he calls you and asks you, can I borrow or whatever, you know? So it kind of depends, you know, like, did he give it back to you at all? How long did it take? And were you really all right without it, or did you really, really need it back? And then it's the fact that he borrowed it knowing that he was going to give it back. And then, you know, the chasing thing. I don't really like chasing money. And if I owe someone money, I take it to them right away because I know what it feels to have to chase money, okay? So the third one is the ones that really aren't for you. You love them. It could be family members. They could be, you know, your best friend from high school. It could be someone you went to college with your whole 4 years. And then, you know, you spent time with them all that time. And after graduation from college, and then, you know, whatever, if someone goes off and gets married and moves 3 states away. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. The third one is the one that's not for you. The third one is the John that you call and say, hey, John, I broke down. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do? And you know that they have the ability to help you, but they give you no suggestions at all, you know. So you have to be there to work it out yourself because, you know, back in the day when he was first starting, right? If something happened in his life, he had to figure it out, right? And I don't know, I just feel like when I had my own business with my husband, we always helped people. If we were on a job and, you know, maybe we were just too kind, I don't know, but if we were on a job and we bid $1,200 and they said, oh, we can't do that, can you do 8? And we would say, no, but we can meet you halfway. So we would do it for 1,000, you know. And then our workers, we always took care of our workers first. Our workers ate what we ate. We didn't tell them to pack a lunch and then we'd go somewhere and have a nice sit down lunch. We always embraced them like they were our family. And most of the time they did good work, you know. And you know, there were those days that they were slacking when I know they could have beefed it up a little bit, but mostly their work was good. And I just feel like when you are have the ability to help, then you know, maybe you don't say, oh yeah, let me just help you, you know. I mean, it depends. If it's like an emergency that they need something right away, then you really have to figure it out. But if it's just a question, you know, just a request, you know, let me think about it tonight and I'll call you in the morning and let you know. And then you pray about it, and if God tells you, yeah, just do it because your heart says so. Follow your heart. And then, you know, the world will be so much better. So really getting off this whole reading thing. Let's just move on, okay? So, your purpose. You'll know what your purpose is in your time, okay? And the Guardian. The Guardian says, be available to help those who cannot do for themselves, okay? So moving forward, we have the Divine Feather, and we have the Kingfisher, and there's the feather. So, the Kingfisher. It says, prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in its perfect form. Kingfisher. There are many myths and legends about the ancient origins of the intriguing fisherman. One tale indicates that Kingfisher was the first bird Noah released from the ark after the flood. Flying high to the edge of the sun, the Kingfisher absorbed the blue sky. From this story, the Kingfisher has come to be associated with the promise of new warmth and abundance. Kingfisher feathers were carried in the old world as good luck charms. Kingfisher is a bold bird that fishes for its food, drawing new opportunities out of the waters. Connecting with the energy of the bird supports the manifestation of new abundance. Kingfisher message dives into your awareness with the promise of abundance and prosperity, urging you to have faith and take the plunge. This divine messenger is a reminder that prosperity comes in many forms. New love, warmth, and opportunities are among the favored gifts. The feather messenger also indicates that luck is with you. Stop trying so hard to create, just allow the natural flow of abundance to come to you. Prepare by being open to receive. The gifts of prosperity are now assured. Energies, prosperity, luck, new warmth. Season, summer, elements, air and water. Color, red, white, green, gray, blue. Affirmation, my world is loving and abundant. I open to receive these gifts. So, also there's a difference when you feel entitled to where you're actually entitled. Okay? So I'll give you I'm entitled to have all the good things in life. Are you entitled because you're saying you're entitled, or are you saying that because you are actually entitled? Who is really entitled? Okay, the people who are entitled. Okay, I run the marathon. I get first place. I put in the work. I am entitled to the first, prize one, right, of that program. Okay, so I could always say that I'm entitled to win that medal, that honor, right? I can say all day long I'm entitled to it. But if I don't put the work in, if I don't sign up to be one of the runners, if I don't qualify, if I don't show up to do the run, and if I don't meet the time requirement as in first place, how can I be entitled to a first place award if I haven't even put the work in? Okay, so you can always count your blessings. That's the first thing. Be thankful. Be thankful God gives you another day. Be thankful for all the good that's in your life. Even, for example, even if you had a car accident, right? If you had a car accident and you were not injured, that's something to be thankful for. Some people have accidents and they become amputees, right? Some people have accidents and then they no longer have a brain. Some people can have accidents and their life is over. So even through a car accident, just be thankful that it wasn't worse. Thank God it wasn't worse. Thank God that there must have been some sort of protection over me to make it so that I did not even get a scratch from this accident. Right? When you start being thankful and appreciative and honoring where you come from, who you come from, My mom was really weak and old. And I don't say she was weak and old in a negative way. If you pumped out 11 kids out of your body, that's going to age you. That's going to tire you. And then finding the strength to care for all of them is another thing. And then trying to train the older ones to take care of the younger ones. That's probably something they did in the day. But, they people nowadays probably consider it like free work, free, you have the older kids to take care of the younger kids. They should be focusing on their future, their lives. And that's really true, but the actual reality of it is that's the way it goes in big families. And some people just fall through the cracks. It's like the school systems. When you got 30, 45 kids, in a classroom, some just don't get it. And you don't really have time to tutor them. Their parents have to get them tutors to teach them what they're missing. And some just fall through the cracks. So we have to be there to help those others along the way. I was really blessed that people that were in my life in school, I felt like really close to them. And I felt like they were my best friends. And I felt like they would always be my friends. And, they just don't really feel that way. I have a girlfriend I went to freshman and sophomore high school with, and yeah, we're still great friends, but she has her life and I have mine. She already has her scheduled things that she does with her groups of friends, and I would never want to infringe on that, And then if we ever get together, we get together. If we don't, then we don't. The friendship's always there, and I'll always feel that way about her. There's others that, I've seen that they don't really care if they see me ever again. Not because they don't care about me, but they don't care about me in the way of, that was like 50 years ago, and now you're coming around, you want to hang out with me. Like, well, we could have some stuff in common, but if she doesn't want to give it a chance, then I just have to let her go, right? And, I just keep moving forward, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything that I have, God keeps telling me, because of this path that I've communicated, that I'm willing to do my best. I'm willing to step forward. I'm willing to honor my ancestors. I'm willing to try to get rid of these generational curses so that our next generations and our generations after will now be blessed and won't be cursed with some of these things that are left for us, right, to clean up. So what happens is when your parents do bad and they don't try to fix it, when they die, that burden becomes yours, right? It becomes your burden to try to fix that generational curse. So even though you've done well, maybe with your own kids, with your own family, there's still work that has to be done. And if you're not willing to put in the work, then, out of 9 kids, I was the one that said yes. So, because I care about my ancestors. And God saved my life so many times. And it's because my family holds high places in heaven. My grandma prayed for everybody. She spent her whole life praying for everyone, people she didn't even know. And it's by her prayers that, some of the generations are really protected. And, she did great work. She prayed for everybody. And I'm to continue this. And I do it without any arguing. I do it without any talking back. I do it because maybe that was my destiny. And I accept that some people are going to love me, some people are going to hate me. Some people are going to believe me, some people aren't. It's not my job to make anybody believe me or not believe me. It's my job to say what I'm guided to say, to help people come out of the darkness, to help people understand that tarot is not bad. It's a way to free our souls from the limits that this world puts us on, right? We can't talk about having 5 acres of avocado trees with 20 trees on each acre, and each tree will yield 200 or 300 avocados, and we'll sell each avocado for $1 each. We have to change our mindset. We can't think like we're poor. We have to think about the abundance that God provides for us when we are able to open our hearts up to Him, when we are able to love Him. Sometimes people have tragedies that happen to them. And that's the moment that they stop believing in God. I can tell you that I always believed in God, but I never allowed Him in my house. Don't ask me why I never did. My first house with my first husband, God wasn't in that house. We just lived however we lived. My second husband, he used to say GD a lot. And I was like, please don't say that. And he did, he stopped. But he replaced it with the F word, which is, I guess, it's better than saying GD. But, and I only asked him to say that because I felt like he's damning himself. When you say GD, I feel like you're damning yourself to a place that you're going to wish you never GD'd anybody or anything about, right? But now God is in my home. God has like a bubble around my home that protects me. Only certain people are allowed to come in. All my possessions are God-given. All my possessions are godly protected. Now, why am I entitled to have God's protection? Why am I entitled to have my things godly protected? What entitles me to have that? The entitlement comes when I promise God that I'm going to make my life better. When I promise God that I'm going to try to listen to Him when He's talking to me. When He tells me to go somewhere and say something. I would imagine if I didn't make it, that maybe I didn't have enough strength. But mostly, I've done everything. There's one big thing I know He wants me to do. And, it's a really big entity. And I know I'm not supposed to be afraid of entities. But I'm just waiting on the perfect time, I guess, when God says it's time. And, well, it's going to show who's for me and who's not. And I know I'm not supposed to be afraid, so you see, I must still have healing to do before I do this one thing that God wants me to do. None of us are perfectly healed. We heal in time, every little thing. You know what I mean? Like, we can focus on one thing that is impeding us from moving forward. One obstacle. It may only be an anthill, but we'll project it to be a mountain. And once we cross that little anthill, we'll say, "Whoa, it wasn't as tough as I thought it would be." You know. So, anyways, I just wanted to cover the whole entitlement thing. You know, sometimes God blesses us because of what our ancestors did. You know, because of how much they prayed for us. How close were these people in our lives? How close were they to God? I was explaining to my nephew that my grandmother said that the world would come to an end in the late 1980s. And you know, I was like 10 years old, maybe a little bit younger when she told me that. And I didn't really focus on, you know, from 1969 to 1989. That's a lot of years away for a kid, right? It's like, well, you know, it didn't really like hit me. So I'm explaining to my nephew that my grandpa died in 78, my grandma died in 84, and my sister died in 89. So in essence, if you looked at my grandma's statement, how could that be true? If she felt like the world was going to end in the end of the 1980s. Well, my grandma died in 1984, so it wouldn't really ring true. But it would ring true if my grandma looked at the love of my sister, her granddaughter, the love of her husband, you know, and the love of herself, right? If you looked at sort of like a triangle, right? It would be like if you thought that grandma was on top, or if you thought grandpa was on top, and then grandma and my sister, like the triangle, you know. So how would that be? That would almost be like Tanya's up at the top, my sister Tanya, and then my grandparents are at the bottom. So first my grandpa passed away in 74, then my grandpa passed away in 78, my grandma passed away in 84, and then my sister died in 89. That would complete that cycle. That, you know, that probably would complete the most sacred love that our family had to view. The greatest love. My grandparents took care of my sister. When they got old, she began taking care of them. So if you looked at it that way, my grandma's statement did ring true. My nephew asked me if I was psychic, and I gave him a couple examples of things that I kind of saw, you know, and then it happened, you know. I mean, I probably have a handful at least of things to where, you know, there's some sort of communication, like from the dead. And even my cousin Roxanne, she says she sees dead people. And she just talks to them. And I believe her. And, you know, we all have these energetic powers. It's a matter of whether we tap our mind open to it or not. So it's a good thing I did my Bible reading first, because we are 45 minutes in and I'm not even to the real reading yet, but it's okay. I love you guys. All right, native spirit. And we have beautiful nature spirits. So this has to do with like the indigenous people, right? That's native spirits. So nature spirits. Card meaning joy, delight, peaks of carefree abandon, living wildly, magically, and free. Be open to the wonders of the universe, flooding into your life. Innocence and delight are abounding. Happiness is on its way. Your native spirit wants you to know almost every indigenous culture recounts stories of fairies, often called little people, and nature spirits. Although some of the fairies act in protection of their wild lands and should be treated with care and respect, most often they bring blessings and delight to all in their realm. If this nature spirit card chooses you, then welcome to a wellspring of joy and magic. Beneath the surface, mystical interventions are occurring in your life. Relax, all is well. The journey, even taking a few moments of stillness in the natural world, can help you attune to the world of the little people and nature spirits. If you see a small flash of light or movement of a leaf in the windless day, these are often signs that the wee folks are nearby. Okay. Next we have messages from the mermaids, and we have breaking free. Okay. Breaking free. Look honestly at your situation. Are you becoming entangled without realizing it? You have the power to break free from a disempowering situation. Say no. Are you out of your depth? Perhaps you've been entangled in a difficult situation and feel there's no way out. No, there's a way to break free from any situation. All it takes is a positive mindset with a sprinkling of hope. You could be entangled in work or relationship commitments. This mermaid wants you to know it's okay to say no sometimes. Always tune in before agreeing to anything. Make sure it's the right thing for you, and don't feel pressurized to do anything you instinctively know isn't right for you. Otherwise, you can become entangled in situations not of your own choosing. This message also says it's the right time to break free from any psychic cords that are restricting you spiritually or physically. You can do this by asking Archangel Michael to come in and gently remove any cords, then calling on Archangel Raphael to fill those places with gentle healing light. When we cut cords, we're not removing this person or circumstances that put them there. We're simply breaking free from any cords or entanglements that aren't serving our highest good. By doing this, we're creating a clean spiritual slate with which we can begin new, healthier, and mutually beneficial connections. Someone around you might be entangled in a situation and need your intervention. Only help them if it feels safe to do so. Your involvement might be to inform a professional organization that can assist. You might be just the person to set the wheels in motion. Okay. So do you know someone that needs help? Are you willing to put your neck out on the line for them? Is it possible that they would say that whatever you're telling the authorities or whoever, that you're not seeing things clear because they just want to not cause any conflict? It's going to be different for everybody. Sometimes we do have to let people find their way through. Other times we just have to mention, hey, I always thought of you as one of my closer friends. And I know now that, there's distance between us, whether it's actual distance or a metaphorical one, right? It could be like, we could live like 3 blocks away and we could still be distant, or we could live across waters and that's distant. So, you just kind of put it out there to them. Look, I always thought you were like my best friend. I don't know why, but, we always had great conversations. We never had any like real argumentative moments, or whatever the situation is. And just let them know, whatever you're going through, bud, or however you talk to them, sister, buddy, whatever, BFF, you just say, hey, look, I notice there's a change in your demeanor, and I don't want to pry, but I just want to let you know, if there comes a time when you need to pick up the phone and call someone you can count on, you can count on me. If you feel like that person is safe to approach that way, and if it's something that you in your heart of all hearts want to say, you should just go say it, because it could very well be your intuition, saying, hey, John really needs you right now. Reach out to him. Or Sue really needs you right now. Reach out to her. So, anyways, I use John and Sue a lot because actually, both my husbands had a sister named Sue. Okay, but the first Sue, she was always a very loving, very down to earth, very easy person to talk to, and one of her, she had like 3 men in her life, and John was the second one, and he had a good heart. He was very skilled, and they both loved each other so much, but they couldn't, they couldn't balance out in the way of, maybe she was like a little bit jealous, and maybe he wasn't making her feel secure. You see what I mean? So if John's not making Sue feel secure in the relationship, then it would be natural for Sue to be jealous. And I'm not saying that happened in their relationship. I was just using that for example. But, John, he ended up having a car accident and he died. So sometimes, I talk about people from the past, and it's a way to honor them that they, they touched my life, I mean, I wish they trusted me more, but I can understand that, like the whole situation now, 25 years later, 30 years later, I could see that he didn't really know how to love her in the way that projected that she could trust him, so therefore she didn't trust him, if that was even their situation. For me, both of them, I could see that they loved each other. I could see that, they really could have been something, and they were something. They just weren't grounded. And, God took John, and, I'm sure he's up there right now up in heaven, slapping that mud, the mud of gold wrapped around all the houses. He did stucco work, so that was his forte. So when I talk about people from the past, people who have died, it's just a way to honor them. Even though I think I knew him like a year, and it wasn't like, me and my husband were around his sister and her boyfriend all that much. It was just the knowing, right? When you see people together, you kind of know. So he was a good guy, and she's still alive, and she's a good mom. She's a good friend. She's a really good auntie to my daughter. So, I say God bless her. So moving forward, the animal message. So if you notice it echoing, it's because this little setup is right next to it's an old style box heater, that's put on the wall. And then you have your little thermostat, and when you turn it on, it kicks the gas through it. So that's why it's echoing. Okay, porcupine. Oh, can't see it. Oh, we put it there. Put it there. There we go. A porcupine. I seen a video of a little baby one, and their little pricks are just growing out. They're so cute. So that's the way I keep my vibe up. If I'm feeling a certain way, I watch other tarot readers. And I watch, just like YouTube in general, the little animal things, and the funny people things when they're going around making a joke that a lot of people don't find funny. But I don't know, it makes me laugh, so it's good to laugh. Okay, porcupine. You may defend yourself honorably without hurting those close to you. Porcupine trusts in the world, individual but unterritorial. She shares her dens, her favorite verdant pastures, and is rewarded with plenty. But when trust is broken, Porcupine defends herself fiercely with barbed quills, causing even Tiger to defer. Like Porcupine, share your bounty with others, be it material or emotional, and discover that it returns to you tenfold. Trust in others while not hesitating in defense, and you too will garner the respect that Porcupine commands and the happiness you deserve. So it's really great to see my nephew today. I was over at the hardware store before Christmas last year, and they were selling these little keychain attachments, and it had 2 metal pieces coming out, and it was like plated silver, but one was a Phillips head and one was the flat head. And I handed it to him today. Here we are in almost June. And I said to him, here, I have this for you. I was going to give it to you around Christmas time, but you were like nowhere in sight. And so that, I gave him some other stuff to give his girlfriend's daughter and stuff. And then he came by to pick up this chainsaw. Him and my other nephew, they got to use it at, on their own accord. So I bought this 3-inch chainsaw, and I haven't even used it yet, but it's battery charged, and then so you put the battery in, and you can cut up a piece of wood up to 3 inches. So my idea in the future would be to use that to get like a piece of oak, like a whole branch, and then slice it up, and then like put it in a kiln or somewhere to dry it out, so I can then sand it, and then I could draw or paint a picture on it, and then I can gloss it. And then I also have one of those what do you call it? A laser like cutter. So it could cut through metal. It could cut, it'll burn like like a torch. It'll burn a picture onto a piece of wood. So basically I scan the picture that I want it to cut out, say if it was a lion's head, and then I'd send it to the machine and then put the wood on there, right? And I would probably like tell the machine how big that piece of wood is, and then I would tell the machine to center that picture in between, and then it would cut the design of a lion's head on there. So then, see, at Christmas time, people like the lion, right? They like the crosses, they like the Christmas trees, or it could be any holiday. It could be I could do like the indigenous the dream makers or the dream catchers, and do that on a piece of wood. There's so many things that can be done, and then maybe in the future I'll have those things put online to purchase so that I can better support myself, and that way you'll come by and hear my readings, but then you can go shopping while I'm reading to you, right? And then you can purchase things, and then I can send it to you. So that's in the future, and of course I have my t-shirt, sweatshirt thing going on, and I'm hoping that my nephew will work in coordination with me. So if I'm in another state and he has the equipment, then I can just say, oh, I'll send him the picture. Oh, can you do a t-shirt with this logo on it, right? Or whatever, this picture on it. And so if he does it on one white shirt and one sweatshirt, then I get orders, and then I can have him go get the materials. And then he can print them, and then he could either send them all to me, or I'll send all the labels to have him ship it out. So that way it becomes like a family business, right? And that's what this is supposed to be. All of this that I do here is not for me. It's by God's grace that I'm here to do this, but it's more so, for my daughter's children to have a home, to have a better life, for me and my daughter to also have that as well. So, I came here before, and every relative that I talked to about it, they all shunned me. They all said no. So, those are the people that have to sit back and watch. The people who are for me are for me. The people who are not for me are not for me. Therefore, I know who is for me. And, I've always been there for my sister's kids the best that I could. I lived far away. I really, when I came into town, I always said, where's Tanya's kids at? And I would go get them, and I would bring them. And it was very important to me. And, I wasn't a wealthy person, like I couldn't just spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on them, but I would take them out, and I would say, you guys can pick out a shirt or a pair of pants or a jacket or whatever, everybody just get one thing, and I'll buy it, because it was a little thing, right? It was a little thing to let them know that they mattered, right? That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Anyways, I love my sister's kids more than they really know. And I don't say that because my nephews might be watching this soon. Sometimes people think that they can mishandle others, and there's nothing ever going to happen to them. I don't wish bad things to happen to people. But I do ask God to give my sister's kids some justice. Whatever God says it is what it is. sappy, okay? I'm sappy about love. I'm sappy about people hurting others. And everybody knows I'm always going to tell the truth. And they say there's two sides of every story. Well, I guarantee you my side's going to hold a lot more truth. Not because I'm entitled, because I speak the truth. My grandma told me when I was little, when you tell a lie, you got to tell another lie to cover up that other lie, and it goes on and on and on and on. So why do all that? Just tell the truth. And when you're out and about, you act like someone's watching you. Make sure that you do right. I always remember those things about my grandma. Okay, so you hear me shuffling a little, right? I already pre-shuffled these, but I'll shuffle a little bit more. And I'm going to cut the cards, do my thing, and then we're going to start reading, okay? Let's see. Okay, here's my little cut here. That's one. Okay. That's two. And then I just feel like I want to do a little bit more. Okay, what's at the bottom? The heart chakra. The heart chakra is at the bottom. Oops, can't see it. Okay. I have to get my drink real quick. It's the first time I'm trying this ruby red squirt citrus and berry soda. Okay. So I'll give you guys a 30-day thing if you want a 30-day challenge. Okay, this is what it is. You pull my first card. Love begins. Okay. Oops, can't see it. How about there? There we go. Except for, let me try to shift this a little bit. There. Okay. So, if you feel like you're overweight, right? Maybe I already said this, but I'll say it again while I'm looking this up. If you go down to Walmart, well, I guess Walmart serve different quantities or different items or whatever. Whichever one sells the bags of pink grapefruit. You get a bag for like $5.98 or something like that. If you eat a grapefruit every other day, like right before your dinner or right before your lunch, it's going to make you eat less of your dinner or less of your lunch, which grapefruit has a lot of good vitamins in it, but it also fills you up, right? So never do you want to tell yourself, oh, I'm never going to eat this, I'm never going to eat that, you know, because it's heart-wrenching when you try to stick to that goal. But so say if you like chicken and gravy and mashed potatoes, okay, your wife or you're making it or whatever, okay, they're going to prepare a plate for you, or you're going to prepare it for yourself. But if you eat the grapefruit first, then your portion of what you normally eat is going to be, you're not going to need that much to fill you up, but you still get to taste it, right? So then you eat your grapefruit first, and then you eat slow so you can savor the flavor of the gravy, right? Savor the flavor of the baked chicken or fried chicken, you know. You just eat slower so that you don't feel like you're really missing out on not having enough, because the grapefruit's going to fill you up. Okay, love begins. That's our first card. What was at the bottom? Oh, the heart chakra. Okay, your cup is about to overflow with joy, happiness, and positive feelings. This is the first of the emotions cards, and therefore signifies that a new love opportunity beckons. This doesn't necessarily have to be a physical love, but could also represent the passion or devotion for an idea, a goal, or even a new creative endeavor. This would be a perfect time to open yourself and your heart to the higher vibrations and loving energy of the universe. When past issues are resolved, when forgiveness for others as well as yourself has been attained, and when your heart is truly open and ready to receive, the new roads leading you towards love will be revealed. Okay, so I'll just read the heart chakra real quick. The color is green, the sound is yam, the element is air. The gland is thymus, the keywords I love. Parallel to the heart, the chakra represents unconditional love, compassion, harmony, relationships, and healing. It's believed to be the link between your mind, body, and soul. Balancing this area may take a while, but you should allow the time you need so the healing energy can get through it and flow freely. By loving yourself and others, as well as learning forgiveness, you'll become more attuned with spirit. Okay, so our next card is emotional withdrawal. So we go from a 1 to the 8. Now the emotional withdrawal is that you feeling that way. Do you feel like that love is not really real? Or do you feel like love is being taken away from you? Or do you feel like it's an obstacle to hold on to that love? Okay, so that the reasoning for emotional withdrawal is going to be different for everybody, if it in fact resonates at all. Okay, so this card represents moving away or withdrawing from a current situation in your life. Whether it's an old love, a relationship, or leaving behind what was once familiar in search of new horizons or beginnings. On a physical level, it's easy to get caught up in the materialistic world, but it's just as important to retreat from the outside world to enable you to pause, reflect, and heal. Schedule some alone time so you can commune with your soul and give the power of spirit the opportunity to restore your energy level, giving you the vitality to move forward in a positive direction. The number 8 represents infinity, passion, control, and power. This is your time. Use this opportunity to tap into your heart and soul in order to find the courage and strength to continue your journey into that wonderful, undiscovered territory. Okay, so it says that that's talking about moving away. Let's see. Moving away or withdrawing from a current situation. Okay, so maybe it really was love for you, but it wasn't love for the other person. Or maybe you were in a situation, you knew you had feelings somewhere else, and now you can't get away from it. You have to move out from where you're at, because this is overriding everything in your mind, body, and soul. Again, that's going to be different for everybody, but let's keep on picking. Patience and planning. It's a 7. Patience and planning. So keep in mind, some cards will resonate for you, some cards won't. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Okay, just, you can put it in reserve for later, or you could totally drop it and say, no, that's could never be me, or whatever your situation is, that's not part of what's going on here, and then just leave it. Okay, so good things come to those who wait. This card signifies the qualities of patience and letting go of control. You should now pause, rest, assess, and rethink what's in front of you before continuing. The number 7 physical card reminds you to re-evaluate the goals that you are seeking, your finances, and even your relationships. Take the time to review each area one by one, for there is no rush when you're planning for a successful future. As you pause during this period, notice what has worked well for you in the past, not what you or others believe to be true, but in actual positive experiences. While you're at this reflecting stage, you can stand back and plan how you're going to handle potentially difficult, complex decisions and situations that may arise in the future. Okay. Next, we have trapped in fear. So this could be you, or this could be someone you're thinking about, or it could be not part of your story at all. The card reveals that it's actually your own fear that has you immobilized and trapped, preventing you from making decisions or choices. You are the one who's holding yourself prisoner or hostage. And in order to continue your journey, you must first face your fears so that new people and conditions can manifest. Many individuals choose to stay in a place because they can't see the road ahead. They feel a misguided sense of safety there, or they're afraid of starting something new. But staying will only add to your levels of stress and anxiety and create adverse effects in your physical body. Seek out wise counsel for assistance. You don't have to do it all alone, but know that you possess all the tools that you need to free yourself. You're forgetting how strong you really are. This period will end when you use your mind to cut through the limitations caused by your emotions. Okay. Next, fulfillment of wishes. These cards have it's like that roller coaster effect. There's love, emotional withdrawal, patience and planning, trapped in fear, and now fulfillment of wishes. So, someone's still on that roller coaster, or things are looking good and people are putting obstacles, or you're putting obstacles in your own way. Maybe you're like an attention person, right? Maybe you like a lot of attention. So say you're that kind of person, you want a lot of attention. You're like, that person is the one for me. And then they get caught up in like their day of work, right? But you want their attention, so you start feeling like, oh, maybe I should just withdraw from this situation. And then, the person that you want sends you a message. Oh, I'm planning on this great weekend for us. Are you in? Are you going to be wanting to hang out with me? right? Then you haven't got the message, so you're still trapped in fear. Then you finally look at your phone and you got the message. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm going to be there. That's what I wanted to do, spend the weekend with you, right? So it could be something like that. When you are someone that wants a lot of attention, okay, first of all, if you want a lot of attention, you can have a lot of attention, but what kind of attention is it going to be? When you put yourself out there and say, I know I'm God's gift to men. I know I have what it takes. I know I can do this and I can do that. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of attention. Especially when these guys come up to you and you start taking them up on it. Yeah, I'll go out with you Friday. Yeah, I'll go out with you over there Saturday. Yeah, I'll see you on Sunday just for a couple hours though. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I think, that someone out there is one of those people that like a lot of attention. So if you want attention from one person, you have to understand that you have to give him or her space. You can't expect them to pick up the call every time you call them. And then if they don't pick up the call, then you put yourself into this mental trap. Oh my God, she's flirting with someone else because she's not answering my call. She has a boyfriend on the side she's not telling me about. All these things start going through your mind. So that's the other thing. That's being someone who wants attention, who cannot just let a person do what they're supposed to do in their 8-hour shift because they so want their attention. Well, unless they work at the same company you work at and they work at the desk right next to you, that's the only way that could be physically possible. Otherwise someone's going to be held up taking your calls all day long, and then their boss comes and says, I asked you to do this, that, and the other, and you only got done with one. What's the holdup? What are they supposed to tell the truth and say, well, my girlfriend requires a lot of attention, and if I don't give it to her, boy, all hell breaks loose when I get home. And it could be a guy. It could be a guy saying that. It could be a girl saying that. So if you are one that has to have attention, you're going to have to change your little mindset on that. And I don't mean little mind. I shouldn't have said that. You got to change your mindset on it, because even a person who owns their own company and who's out there working, making a living, trying to get business, trying to organize materials, trying to organize the subcontractors, they need their time too. They need their time to do their work. So if you are one of those people that like a lot of attention, that's why you're feeling the way you're feeling, because someone's not snapping to you just like that. Doesn't mean that they don't love you or they don't care about you. It means they're out there trying to do their job, right? But that's kind of what all those cards look like to me. Somebody likes a lot of attention, and maybe they dropped everybody else around them, and they're like, like if it's a guy, right? He dropped all the girls around him, but he wants your attention, right? That means to keep him happy, you guys are going to have to talk, but to keep him happy, that means, like if it was me, that means I got to carry the phone into the bathroom, because if I'm going potty and I don't pick up the call, he's going to think, he's going to have the worst thought in his mind. That's enough to make any woman go crazy. Okay, I don't want to carry my phone into the bathroom. If I'm in the shower, I don't want to have to dry off to get a phone call when I'm in the shower. If I'm washing my car, I don't want to have to stop the process because my phone's ringing. People just need to understand, I have my chores that I want to do. I have private time that I want to have private, right? That's what you do in the bathroom. You have private time, right? And I mean, I would be going crazy if someone felt that I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing because I don't pick up the call. You know, even if I was just a housewife, I don't want to pick up the call 4 times a day to be asked, how's my Amazon stock doing? I had 1,000 shares of Amazon that I paid $100 each for. I told that husband that the Motley Crew or whatever that broadcast on the stock market channel said Amazon would one day be $2,400 a share. And he would call me 4 or 5 times a day. What's your stock doing today? It'd go down $1. Oh, you're losing money, you're losing money. And I felt like if I could take my size 7 foot and put it through the phone and shove it down your throat, I probably would have done that. But yeah, you know, so I've been divorced from him since 2002. Doggone if I still don't have his cell phone number. And yeah, I did text him a freaking picture of that Amazon. It's $2,400 a share. How many times did the Amazon stock go up and split since 1998? I could probably have $50 million just in Amazon if I would have been allowed to just keep it all these years. And that's just a guesstimate. We'd have to know how many times did the stock go up and split, and what was the split? 2 for 1, 3 for 2, every split to calculate how many 1,000 shares would be from 1998 to now. That's a fact. That's the blessing, you know. I never actually received it, but that's the blessing that I know that I could have had it then. So now that I'm single and making my own decisions, why can't I have it now? You know, it's a blessing because I wouldn't be selfish with that money. I wouldn't just give it away. Believe me, I've given a lot of things away to people that never even appreciated it. You know, I gave away a car, right? And that same person I gave the car to, I needed to borrow her car. And she looked at me side-eyed like I was a problem. You know what I say? F you and F you and F you. You know, I gave you a freaking car. I never asked you for anything. Now I ask. So you see, those are the people who are for you. They're, you know, that thing I was saying, there's people who are for you. If they're not for you, then they're not for you. If they're for you, then they're for you. So I already know where she goes in my for you slot or my F you slot. That's a bad way to say. Sorry, God. Sometimes I gotta just speak my piece and let you know that I'm a real person. I'm not a robot. I'm not just reading cards. You know, I'm doing it because I love to do it. You know, I've seen how God has touched my life. I have seen the changes. When I said, God, I'm ready to take a leap of faith, when those words came out of my lips, God heard. God opened doors for me. God's cared for me more than I even really know. And it goes back to my ancestors. All the prayers my grandmother did is a testimony of God's strength, of God's love, and how a prayer made 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, how my grandmother's prayer held true for me. Life isn't perfect. It's what we do with what we have. And we have to realize, you know, our intellect is passed through generations. Our abundance. We choose what our abundance is. If we choose to say, oh, I'm 62 and, I'm afraid for my life. I don't want to walk the dog anymore because I might fall down and not get up. Someone might push me over and try to steal from me. You live in the mind of what do they call it? Scarcity? You know what I'm saying, right? Scarce, right? You live in a mindset of what if this is going to happen? What if that's going to happen? And you should live in the mindset of God protects my house. God protects me. I can go anywhere. I know that God's always going to have my back. God is going to put a bubble around me and never will I get harmed. Because I have a connection with God. I open my heart up to God. I trust in God. God knows that I'm not perfect. It's by God's grace that I'm still here today. It's by God's grace that you guys are even here listening. So thank you. Thank you and thank God. Okay. Well, people might think I'm crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. See? Mental conflict. So here's this person again going up and down. Like, I'm in love. But I'm afraid. I want to make plans to tell him or her. But how is he or she going to answer me? Is it going to be something that I can live with hearing? I want to tell him or her that I see fulfillment of all my wishes with him or her. But then again, why should I reach out to her or him? They should be reaching out to me. Just because I'm entitled. I'm not sure how that goes. The cards are a little bit weird today. Okay? So yeah, you have some shadow work to do. You have things that are you're using your own mind to put in your own obstacles. To lose this love. The love will always be there between you two. But if you're unwilling to clear your mind, body, and soul of things that keep you putting your own obstacles in front of you, then, God's going to find someone else for him or her. How long have you been making him wait? Has it been a couple weeks? Has it been a few years? Has it been a decade? I don't know. It's your story. Someone's still holding on. How much more love is going to fall out of that cup before it's empty? The crown chakra. Are you getting messages? That's the very top of your head. When all your chakras are in alignment is when your body will run at an optimal, mind, body, and soul, right? It's like a jigsaw puzzle. It's only 3 pieces. And once you put the pieces together, then everything's running at an optimal, reasonable, energetic, physical, spiritual level. So if someone's getting the message or their chakras are unaligned. Okay, let me take a sip here. That was bigger than a sip. Very tasty. Okay, let me see. Okay, apparently, either I'm telling the truth to all of you out there, or the truth is going to be being revealed by the person that you're thinking of. The person you're thinking of has been on this own roller coaster in his or her own mind. You know, maybe there's been outsiders, people outside of him who are telling him A, B, C, D, this is why you shouldn't do blah, 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 that you want to do. So whoever this is needs to pretty much grow his own balls or grow her own ovaries, however you want to look at it, and do their own deep diving and forget about all the chitter chatter all around them. You know, you can clap and it kind of clears the space, right? If you're home alone and you feel like there's stagnant energy, just, I think the Chinese do that and it works. So someone has to do that and just figure out how he or she freaking feels and forget about what everybody else is telling him or her, and they should just follow their heart, because if they don't follow their heart, and the love's draining out, right? See that? There's only so much in there. If the connection is not made, it cannot be refilled. It's going to empty. It's going to be gone. That love is going to be gone. It's going to be just a memory. It's just going to be a dream. Now, if you're okay with that, then you're okay with it. So, on your end, are you the one that's supposed to be reaching out, or do you feel like they're supposed to be reaching out to you? And whatever the answer is, whatever's good for you. Do you feel like it's, say if you're a girl here, right? Oh, he should be reaching out to me. Okay, so if that's the way you feel, are you gonna hold that position? You know, not knowing the full scope of what he's even thinking or going through. Or, you know, if you hold that position, you know, you're just as responsible for the love dying, for the love ending, just as he is. So if you're okay with that, and he's okay with that, then what love was really there? You know, on the other hand, you have to look at yourself. Look, I'm holding on to my self-love. You know, I don't want to be rejected again. You know, he's with me for 3 days and then he goes running back and does whatever anyways. Well, maybe that's really not the one for you. You know, so you just never know what that person's really going through. You don't really know where he's been or how he's been treated too. Are you supposed to have compassion for him? I don't know. It's your story. Are you supposed to be forgiving? I don't know. It's your story. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you to do anything. What I'm here to tell you is the different things that could be happening behind the scene that you don't really know what's exactly going on. You know, the worst case scenario is he chose money over love. And now he feels like he's in a committed spot that he can't get out of. You know, my answer to that is, if only the whole world felt like he did, right? If love came before money, if money came before love, rather, if money holds, you know, okay, let's just put it this way. Back in the 80s, or back in the turn of the century, when the housing market was flip-flopping, I said to my husband at the time, I said, before the whole thing collapses, all the banks have to do is go back to all the people. If their interest rate was 8%, but now it's 3%, to keep the business and keep the money coming in, they should go get all the people that they have house loans with, get on the phone. Hey, Mr. Smith, this is Bank of whoever. You do have a home loan with us, right? Yes. Probably he's upset because he hasn't been able to make his mortgage payment for whatever reason. Hey, Mr. Smith, I'm here to tell you that our company wants to call back all of our people who we have established home loans with. Come down to our office. Let's see what we can work out. Okay. Mr. Smith brings Mrs. Smith with him. They go down to the bank of whatever, whoever, right? Oh, yeah. Tell me what you're offering now. We know that people are having a hard time. We want to refinance your loan, not at what it was 5 years ago at 7%. We want to give you a new low rate at 2.5%. For the money left, not like a whole complete loan from the original value. Whatever money's left on the books right now, we want to take you and we want to give you this low interest rate of 2.5%, whatever. Can you guys work that so your payment will come down from, I don't know, $1,200 to probably $700? Can you afford to make that payment? Oh, yes. If the government, would have said to these bank people, look, we're not going to frickin' bail you out. Go back and tell the people, we'll give you a smaller interest rate so you can afford to pay and we can still stay in business. What kind of government officials do we have? Oh, let's just bail out the banks. Right? And in the meantime, all the people who got car notes, they just start leaving their cars all over town. The tow truck companies that are working for the banks, they might have to pick up 20 cars in that one day. Where are they going to put it? Their storage only holds 15 cars. That's 20 cars is way past the norm. See what I mean? So if the truth for him or her is that, I took out a house loan with them and, well, now I'm stuck. I don't even want to be here. They made it sound so good. Now I feel like I'm stuck here. Well, just Google what it was like in 2004 when the market crashed. And, put it in your own mindset. That's where you're at. I would never stay. I stayed in one marriage for 18 years. I got my daughter out of that relationship. And I never wished him bad. I never wished anything bad on him. And I know he wished so much bad on me. I was constantly attacked by the Milton Police Department. I was constantly attacked by the state of Delaware, the state troopers. I was on probation for calling his now ex-wife supposedly a bitch over the phone as terroristic threatening, which I never even admitted to it. I was on probation for a year. They harassed me so much that my parole officer called me and she's like, you're going to be getting a letter in the mail. Just show up. I thought, wow, what the hell is going to happen to me now? What have they told them that they believe? Now I'm going to get arrested for the rest of the year? It looks like I still had 4 months to go. I go into court, standing next to my parole officer. The proceeding starts. The judge says, what is your name? I say my name and my birthday, my social security number, whatever it is you're supposed to say in court. That's all I said. the parole officer says, Your Honor, this person who's on probation, between the man hours between the probation office, the state police, the Milton, Delaware Police Department, all the man hours that was put on this woman here, none of it was true. It was all falsified information. Okay, you're on probation. It's complete, it's considered null and void. Cost me $1,500 for that, not to get it null and void, but just to have a representation at the very beginning where I took a no plea because the court couldn't use the people in my group for my trial. They had to pull that jury pool upstairs for a Supreme Court trial. Therefore, it cost me $1,500. Well, it cost my now ex-husband $1,500, but see, so money goes round and round, and people do things that they shouldn't be doing, and people cast like horrible spells on people, just saying the words, oh, I wish you'd die, right? Oh my God, you wish you would die? I never wish that on anybody. You know, the karma is that stuff comes back on you. And actually the person that you're wishing it on, who knows that you're wishing it upon them, they just keep walking like they didn't even hear it. Goes right over them, goes right under them. Because God's protecting that person. God's taking notes. God's seeing that she is not being jealous, she's not being envious, she's not being, vindictive. She's not trying to take judgment and be ignorant to the person that's wishing her dead. So what does God do? God says, oh, since she's walking the path, she's taking all the pain from that. I'm going to clear her out and I'm going to give her more. Every time this person says, hey, I hate that girl, I hate everything about her, and then all of a sudden you start feeling these prickly pains, you know, burning sensation on your skin. You know someone's talking bad about you. You just say, God, return to sender. God, handle this for me, please. God, I'm tired of my arms burning and my legs burning. God, I'm tired of feeling like there's knives in my back. You know, the power of your words, the power, when you have a powerful mind, right, and you use those words in negative ways, you know, a God-fearing person just wouldn't do that. So you already know who's in or who's out. So, let's see what else. It's Friday night. I thought we were going to have some good cards with some good news. Okay, so someone, we have the truth and intuition. That's kind of good news, right? Having the intuition. That's like being in a certain spot, right? And you already know what to do. It's like if you are, I don't know, walking down the street and maybe, God forbid, just say a motorcycle accident, right? You know, you want to help out. You're like right there, so get on the phone right away, 911, or you walk up, are you hurt, or whatever, you see that, I don't know, maybe his bone's sticking out of his leg or something. Stay down, let me call the ambulance for you. You call 911, you know, they connect you. Yeah, you know, I'm over here in Guadalupe, right here on Guadalupe Street near the Chevron, and some some guy had an accident on a motorcycle and his bone's sticking out of his leg, so pretty sure he's going to need an ambulance. So, you know, then get off the phone, let him know. Just stay down, and then other people want to help, just please direct traffic or something. We don't want to move him from where he's at. And it's probably take like 10 or 15 minutes because Guadalupe doesn't have their own ambulance. They got to come from Oro Grande, well, like Nipomo or Santa Maria, which is, Santa Maria is 9 miles away and Nipomo's like 7. So whoever gets the call first or whoever gets here first, it's at least 7 minutes. So then you got people directing the traffic. You're trying to calm that guy down, and you ask anybody, does anybody have a blanket in their car? And next you know, the lady that lives in the house right on the street, she comes out with a blanket and a pillow. Oh, thank you. You know, we cover up the worker or the motorcycle guy. Calm down, just relax. We know you're in pain. The ambulance is coming. You know, then the police department, they're probably already here in 2 minutes. Then they take over and you give them your name and your information and you go on your way. You know, it's how you handle things, how you naturally know how to handle things, how you can keep a bad situation at a calm level, okay? It's not that you don't care about the guy with his bone sticking out of his leg, okay? It's like the calmer you are, whoever's handling the scene, the calmer that you are, the calmer everybody else is going to be. If I'm jumping up and down and running circles around this guy and I'm freaking out, you know, then everybody else is going to freak out, right? So you just have to be calming. You have to have a calming demeanor. You know, believe me, you know, when I was 10 years old, I wasn't that calm. My sister took me and her son, CB, he was born when I was about 9, so I must have been about 11, because he was walking, but he was still wearing diapers, I think. But my sister says, oh, I'm going to take you to this haunted house. This house going up near Arroyo Grande off the freeway. It was a purple house, and it always looked like a witchy house, you know. And it sat in the middle of the tree, so I was like, okay. So it was just me and my sister and her son. And we get out of the car and we're looking around, and we're all at a distance from each other. All of a sudden, these Doberman pinchers come running up the lane, and they're barking like they want to eat us. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm running to the car. She's running to the car. She gets in and closes the door. I get in and close the door. We both left her son out. You know, I was like, oh my God. And then I think she got out to get her son, but then the lady came up, and she's like, they're friendly. And so we talked to them for a while, but, you know, I was really excited. I was like, I really want that experience with the St. Bernard. So I was really frightened of big dogs that didn't know me, you know. But, yeah, so you learn this calmness throughout the years, and you learn how to find the good out of the bad. It's like, you know, when my mom died, of course it was bad. It was bad when my dad made us see a psychiatrist. It was bad when the psychiatrist walked right up to me, knowing me. I was the youngest, and asked me if I loved my mother. It's like, what kind of psychiatrist are you? You're not the healing kind. Like, I couldn't even say that. I was like almost 12 years old. I couldn't even say that, but that's what my mind was thinking. Like, why would you ask a kid that? That damaged me for many years. Like, I just didn't trust any psychiatrists or any people like that ever. But, you see, you got to find the rainbow through the worst storm. No matter what it is. If it's rejection, if it's Because not always the people that you love you back, right? Wow, that's a big wake-up call. But the only way for me to be safe, the only way for me to love God is to love everybody, no matter what they've done to me, no matter what they've done to my family, no matter what. I just love everybody. I'm not perfect. I don't believe in hating anybody. Hating anybody means you have hate in yourself. So, someone is now seeing the truth. I'm not sure about the story. Someone is listening to their intuition. So, the first time someone laid eyes on someone, they knew. Maybe they called their parents. Maybe they said, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I found the one." And there's like, "Oh yeah? Tell me about her." "Oh, is that what you have to say?" Well, I still don't think she's good enough for you. So, I'm not in agreement with it. Then you're feeling that way. You're trying to plan your life differently without that person in your life. There are times where you feel like you're trapped. You're trapped. Do I choose my family, or do I choose the woman that I really love? You've been around. You've probably traveled the world and probably experienced a lot of different people. And you realize that that one was the one. And I mean, that one is the one for you. You're trying to figure out, how do I get my family to be in agreement with what I want? You take some time off to, I don't know, be that hangman, to check out your shadow work. Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with her? And is there something wrong with my relationship with my family that keeps them from disagreeing? I have connected with divine sources, with my ancestors. My crown is open. I know what my truth is. And that love is still there after all this time. And I've decided that I gotta figure out who's for me and who's not for me. Because I'm not giving up on this. Maybe I chose money over love before, but it's not that I was enticed. It's like, that's what my family wanted me to do, and I'm realizing that I gotta live my own life, my own way. Okay, I got 2 cards by accident. So we got passion is ignited, and the temptation. To me, passion ignited would be something that you really want. Now, is this something that you really want? Is this something that the person you're thinking about really wants? And do either of you find it being something you shouldn't have? Something that is a temptation that you shouldn't have? I never think that true love, the real love, is temptation. So maybe someone's confused about how they really feel about somebody. They have the passion that's ignited, and they have that number one card, right? That's another one card, that love begins. They see this person as their fulfillment, their wishes fulfilled. So could this temptation card be, Mom, I'm calling you because I'm telling you that this is where I want to go. And then, I don't know, Mom might say, hey, do you remember Sally, that you used to date back in the day? Do you remember how much you were in love with her? Yeah, Mom, I remember. Well, she just called me. She's going to be at my house on Wednesday night. Why don't you stop by and you guys can, get reintroduced to each other. Now something like that could be temptation. Okay? But it's not my story, it's yours. You've got to put it where it fits. Okay, so the next card is Foundation and Achievement. So to me, it looks like after you stand up to that temptation and you say, no, I'm going to keep my self-empowerment. I'm not going to give my power away anymore. I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to be dedicated to myself first. I'm going to stop being a people pleaser. And these are all the ways, self-love, self-respect, self-integrity, self, not being selfish. God has a path for me. It happens to have the love of my life on that path. And here I can build a solid foundation and really bask in many achievements, because I'm going to have the ability, the time, the knowledge. God is going to be gifting me all of these sources of income that I can build with her, and we can have a family together. Okay, maybe she already has a son or a daughter with really short hair. Okay, emotional loss. So here could it be the people he's leaving behind has an emotional loss, or could he be saying, oh, well, I know where I'm going is going to be better for me, but it doesn't take away from the love that I truly have for these family members, the family members that I have to just love from a distance for a while. So that could be a normal feeling. So how does it fit in your story? Is it an emotional loss, like you feel like you put so much energy out for nothing, that nothing's panning out for you? That's what it kind of makes me feel like. Like this is the real deal. This is the choice. This is the happiness. But still, the ones you have to leave behind. It is, it is heartbreaking. So you see he's headed off to the sun, and he's looking back this way. I'm leaving behind some things that really meant a lot to me, but I have something bigger to go to. And right now they're not understanding, but soon they will. Okay, heartache and loss still. Maybe the whole cup went empty. Maybe this whole thing is over. Where is it? This was the first card. That's the first card. Now we're heartache and loss. So, now this reading's becoming very confusing. So you had emotional loss, now you have heartache and loss. Here comes triumph. So it could be the people you're leaving behind are feeling this way. The solar plexus chakra. The power. So you have triumph and power. The base chakra, right now we have 3 chakras out. Memories of love. Suffering in silence. Awareness. There's the crown chakra. Obstacles and challenges. Holding on to hope. Through all of that, you have some wisdom. The authority. Oh. This is the Emperor and Empress right in a row. The partnership. Choose wisely. Stand your ground. Movement, choices, decisions. Balance. Triumph, success. And I'm going to quit it there. So basically, this has been going on for a long time. These two, maybe one saw it first. Okay. So let's just say it's the man who saw it first. But he wasn't the emperor yet, and she was not the empress. However, through these life cycles they've been through, so we have these 3. The Emperor, the Empress, and love begins. So maybe he was sending a message. God, bring me the perfect one that's just for me. And out of nowhere, she comes along. So he says, that can't be her. That can't be the one for me. She's too short and I'm too tall. I'm gonna keep it moving. The Empress says, I'm gonna keep shopping around, looking around. Yeah, I'm planning to travel. I still want to go to Brazil, and I still want to go to Switzerland, and I still want to go, I don't know, to Greece. I've traveled all over the world. I still want to see more before, I really don't think this one is really the one. I kind of feel like she is, but I don't even know what this feeling is that I have for her. So I'm going to plan and keep looking out for myself. I keep getting into these relationships that, maybe I'm giving in too much. Maybe I'm giving too much to the relationship. Maybe I give the opportunity to be used, and I end up getting used, and it's painful. I heard from the Empress. She says that I'm still the one for her. I say no. When I met you, I had a feeling that I couldn't explain. But you're too short and I'm too tall. You're older and I'm younger. I want a different kind of woman. I want a woman that'll shake everything she's got for me just because I ask her to. I don't know. I got a shadow side to me I need to work out, and you got your own healing you need to work through. So thanks for reaching out, but I'm gonna keep it going on my own, and I wish you the best of luck. I'll see you around. Crown chakra. I'm going to work on my crown chakra, and I'm going to see what I can see with that and what it'll bring into my life. So when you get these different powers, right? When you get these different abilities, you're not supposed to use them for your own. You're not supposed to use them to benefit yourself. You're supposed to use them to teach others how to dig themselves out of a grave, per se. Teach people how to benefit from making changes in their life. You're not supposed to use it for your own, calling out to women in the 5D, and then they end up showing up at your job, right? And I tell you, that's the truth. Okay? So he started figuring out his intuition, and he wasn't really using it for all the right things. He got involved with other people who helped him open up his intuition so they can work together to try to bring other people down. Okay, so maybe someone had passion for him, or maybe he found some passion for someone other than his Empress. I don't know. It's your story, dear. Okay, and it could go this way too. maybe he realized that Empress is really the one for me. Yeah, she's a little bit older, but she just has my attention and I can't figure out why. Did she put some spells on me? An Empress is never going to do that. Okay, but say if it is like that, then he's telling his friends, yeah, I heard from the Empress last week, and I don't know, I've been doing the single thing for a while, and they give him all the reasons why, and they're all lies to keep him held back. He says, but I want to build a foundation with her. You know, I really think we could build something really nice. Well, buddy, if that's what you want, know that we don't agree, and we'll just choose not to be a part of your life. And you know, you're going to be out on your own with her. What if things don't work out? Where are you going to go then? Wow, you guys would really do me that way? So, I thought you were always for me. Now I'm realizing that you were never for me. Thank you very much for showing your true colors. I can freely go and do what I want now. The solar plexus chakra has to do with somewhere around underneath your belly button. Okay, so someone has a lot of passion for somebody. And he's using all of his power to realize that she was always the one, that he needs to go get her. Because he knows that that cup's running empty, that it has to be refilled by both of them. Now he's feeling like, I left her suffering in silence. She's been on her own for a long while. I've seen her fall down, and I was too busy trying to fit in with my family, with my clan, with my group, that I just walked by her at her lowest point. How could I have done that to her? Why? Why did I actually do that? So he opened up his awareness. That reality opened up his awareness. Could be her awareness too. She could be saying, yeah, I tried to tell you. I'm not one of those people that says, I told you so. But didn't I warn you that those people were not good for you? And you thought that I was being hateful. But I was really telling you the truth that I knew. Now, I work through all my obstacles, is what she's saying. I already know how to get past this. This little thing is easy. Your people around you try to put me over here. They didn't even know who they were messing with. I experienced that 25, 30 years ago while you guys were still, you know, wearing diapers, going to kindergarten. Whatever. I'm just pretending it's me, okay? But but these obstacles and challenges mean nothing to the emperor or the empress. It's all old news. What? Is that all you got? You really don't know where I've been, do you? I've been in some places that no man has ever crawled out of, and I still made it out. That's funny. Okay. The base chakra. So someone needs to make sure their base, all of their chakras are aligned. You can Google chakras alignment, and it tells you to do yoga, it tells you to do color therapy, it tells you to do meditation, it tells you to do exercise, it tells you to listen to music, it tells you to do whatever your heart sings. What makes your heart sing? You know, the good stuff, right? It's a body movement. It's in your mind, clearing your mind out, being out in the fresh air, getting rid of all those cobwebs. Those cobwebs is not you thinking. Well, it could be. But those cobwebs could be like all the different lies that people told you throughout the years that damaged you, that hurt you, that made you not think straight. Okay? Excuse me. Get your chakras aligned. Okay? Now, you can go back to the memories of love. Once you got your mind, body, and soul, and you're in the healing process of previous hurts, you can actually feel good about entering into a union, especially a union that's, you know, you're probably really two good-looking people who can draw in people. You know, just walking through a room, right? Everybody turns their head to look at them, and they could be walking singularly. And it's the energy that you carry. See? And it looks like she carries more energy, and she attracts him. And together they have everything they need, right? To build a good foundation. These are two people that are God's gift. They're God's gift to the world as a couple. Okay? They're God's gift to each other as individuals. And when they have God in their life, they are a power couple. And when it's a union that God puts together, it's an unbreakable, unstoppable couple that the bond will never break. These two people could have been apart for 3 full years, both living their own life, both learning to live without each other, and the love never died. Is that your story? Okay. So hope. Always hold on to hope. Always believe. The thing about energy, especially if both those two are like, not mind readers, but they're energetically connected in a way that they can converse, right? So if I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about going to the beach, is it because I'm thinking about going to the beach, or is it because that person I'm energetically connected is going to the beach, and I'm receiving his information, you know? So those kind of things still need to be like honed down and, you know, like patched and sewn and really worked on to get it really good, right? But so say someone that's trying to break me and John up, right? Energetically, he or she could send me a message. You know, John's talking to Sue again. And it could be a total lie, right? But energetically, I receive a message. Oh, so John's talking to a woman, is that Sue? So then, energetically, I send John a message. Like, you SOB, who the hell do you think you are? I'm over here waiting for you, and you're doing this, that, and the other? Can you imagine what that would be like, right? But anyways, so then John gets the message, and he's like, no, that's not true at all. And he's like, who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe that extra voice in your head, or are you going to believe what I'm telling you? You might even send me a text and say, don't get your panties in a fluff, hun. You know, I was mentioning going to the beach with you on Sunday or something like that, right? Okay, but to hold on to hope would be for me to totally cast out what this message came into my mind, right? To cast out, oh, I don't really believe that. And I tossed that thought out of, out of my existence, right? So I'm still holding on to hope that John's going to come through on Sunday or whatever, that, in other words, I'm holding on to hope about our connection, okay? So then, energetically, John gets the message. Oh, she's still holding on to hope for us. Oh, that makes my heart sing, or whatever, it starts John having the memories of love too. So my thoughts become his thoughts become my thoughts. It's basically how a union from God comes down. They're energetically connected, and they know when they know when negativity comes around. Especially the authority. I want to say that he probably hears everything that she's saying, and she probably feels everything he's feeling. So one's creatively, one's recepting. I'm not sure how that goes, but basically sometimes I will get I will have anxiety that I have no idea where it's coming from, and all of a sudden, that anxiety attack comes and you can hardly breathe. And then I'll say his name and I'll say, just breathe. You have to understand that you're younger than I am, and you can handle this, but you shouldn't be holding on to this. You just have to let it go. And that it really affects me when I feel your pain, because an anxiety attack, what can it do to an older person? It can cause a lot, and then there's that whole thing with the electrolytes, right? If you don't get enough salt in your diet, you can actually put yourself in shock. So if he's way over there and he's mishandling his body, right? If he's mishandling his body and we are energetically connected and I could feel what he feels, I have to assume, not assume, but if I have no reason to feel anxiety, I know where it's coming from. And I say his name, and I say, just breathe, and I'll go through this breathing process. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now go somewhere and sit or lay with your eyes closed and don't think about anything, and keep doing that until the anxiety subsides, right? And then pretty soon it just goes away. Okay. So we went from hope to wisdom. Knowing this is a God-given connection. Knowing that what is for him is always going to be for him. What is for her is always going to be for her. And right now, they're like two people, right? Two people against all odds. Because out of, say, 100 people, right? Only 22% of that 100 people is going to say, yeah, I really like them as a couple. Look how powerful they are. Look what they're accomplishing. The other 78% of the people are, oh, it's all scam. It's all for show. It's all for the camera. It's all for this. It's all for that. It has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with what they can receive in this world. So when these two people come together, it's going to show God. Well, God already knows, okay? God already knows who's for him and who's not for him, but he leaves the door open to to give people like the last chance to, make a change. So, okay, these three cards, right? It's the Emperor, the Empress, and the Love card. There's a Love Begins. Okay, when these three people come together, or when these two people come together, as I said, there's going to be probably 22% that say, yeah, look at them, look how good they're doing. And then the other 78% is going to say, oh, look at all their money, all the notoriety they're getting. They're getting companies to, they're sponsoring them just so they'll say their company name. They're able to go up, over and be present at a Bruno Mars concert over there in Hawaii. He asked them to get on stage to tell a little story about their love, and then he writes a song about them. All these things are going to be coming to these two blessed people, and they are going to be world renowned. And what are they going to be world renowned for? For probably like the greatest love, right? The greatest love anybody has ever seen. And their task is to love each other unconditionally, to always protect each other, to never allow anybody in that can damage their relationship. For them to talk about God, how God has changed their lives individually and then together. How God is everything in this world, and everybody better start believing if they want life after death, the good life after death. So, these two are supposed to be telling the truth about love. Telling the truth about how the Bible has been changed 30-something times, and how we don't really know what changes were made. Were there changes to suit that particular emperor at the time? Were the changes made to suit the Pope at that time? What was the reason for the changes? So, as a Bible, we cannot discard it as untrue, but we have to use discernment as to the important scriptures. The scriptures regarding the love of God, the fear of God, what God can do for you, to open your heart up to God, that God is your forever person, and He can bring in your forever person. And these two people are going to say, we're proof of that. We are a testimony to how God has brought us together. Right? People might want to make books about us. People might want to make a movie about us. People might want to celebrate us. And what do we say? Thank you, but all the glory goes to God. Right? That's what they would want to say, right? Okay, so next we have, that's the partnership. What's wrong with this camera? Partnership. Okay. Partnership. Still not right. What's going on? Oh, gotta figure something else out here. Okay. Let me just do it this way. Partnership. An alliance that will not be broken. How are they going to choose wisely? They're going to listen to their intuition, and they're going to follow heavenly divine guidance. when they decide they are going to stand their ground. And they're always going to have God on the forefront of their lives. Movement, choices, and decisions. You're probably going to say, oh, we have these 4 choices. Let's get the information, brochures regarding them and take them home and let's go through them together. You know, have a glass of wine, talk about it, you know, pray to God, and let's see what's next for us. They're always going to be balanced, even though my camera is not. Balancing is going to be an intricate part of their foundation. And they will have triumphant success. So I also chose to end it there because we have 1 and 11. 1, 1, right? 1s are good. And we already have the Emperor and the Empress. So let's do the time thing real quick. Okay, it's 4:43. Oh, 4:44. I know we've done 4:44 before. So let's just do 4:43 and then I'll tell you what 4:44 says too. Because it was 4:43 when I looked at it, and then as soon as I said it, it went 4:44. Joanne. Okay. Gonna go right down to the bottom and read the last section. Angel number 443 is the message that the angels are guiding and assisting you along the path right now. You are completely supported and protected by the angelic and spiritual realms, and they have heard your prayers and positive affirmations and are responding and answering your pleas. Trust that they will assist you in manifesting all that you need to support and sustain you along your journey. Expect to receive some well-earned rewards and abundance to enter your life. Be grateful for your blessings, those already present and those yet to come. So thank God in advance, right? Okay. If you want to know more, just put in the number, right? And then look for Joanne. Because we're already 2 hours in. I didn't know I was talking that much. You guys are like my family, okay? I mean, you're always going to be here, right? So, okay, it stands for clarity and decisiveness, 444. But I want to see what Joanne says. Joanne's information is, I don't know, it seems really important to me for some reason. But let me see if I can find her. Okay, Joanne, 444. Let me get to the bottom. I'll read the biggest portion. Angel number 444 is the message that you have nothing to fear in regards to your life, work, and divine life purpose. When you take positive action towards your highest intentions, aspirations, and goals, the universe works in your favor and helps you to establish solid foundations and advance you along your path. Know that the angels surround and support you, encouraging you to keep up the good work you have been doing. It also brings the message that all is well. Trust that you are on your correct life path and are doing a great job. The angels and archangels are available to help and guide you. Okay, all you have to do is ask. Okay, so that's the end of the reading. I'm going to do a prayer on a separate one because we're already 2 hours and 40 minutes in. This one probably won't clear until, I don't know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight. So thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you. Without you, there's no need for me to be here, right? So thank you. And please hit the like button and share button if you've already subscribed, okay? Like and share, like and share, like and share. Okay. That way other people can have the opportunity to view what you're viewing, right? Okay, thank you. God bless. Sending you love, light, peace, harmony, happiness, and healing. It's Friday night, and everything's going to be all right, okay? Stay strong in your faith, okay? Be true to yourself, and have more love in your life. God bless. Aloha.